Yes, to everyone, it's Ada from Poison Drug. Today we have a special guest. I'm really honored to have with us Tyla from PHIL Campbell and the Bastard Son, but of course, as well from the people, the poet, of course. So I want to ask you, Tyla, first of all, the toughest question of always. How are you?
I am okay, thank you very much. All good. Today I've been busy doing my carnet for like customs and stuff, so it's been quite
Custom,
boring doing lots of
yeah,
paperwork and stuff.
customs, meaning like bike.
It's basically I've got to list all of our equipment so to be allowed into Europe.
Okay,
So
so
it's
you're getting
yeah,
ready.
nothing too exciting today. So happy to talk to you, and yeah,
Super.
it should be good fun.
Yeah, I want to ask
How
you
are you?
first, like I mentioned, like a lot of interview with, but with interesting band, and it's always
Yeah.
good to know, new musician, even if I know you by your music, but of course it's different talking to you than just listening only the music. And of
Yes.
course, I know, you might ask this so many times. Of course, we knew your dad, in the band, there is all your brothers. But I want to ask you a little bit about yourself, because I think differently, like you, like each one of your brothers, just getting the music started the journey into the music as well. I don't think you all start in the same way. So you had your own path. So I want to ask about you, Tyler. Like, what was your personal journey in the music, like growing up, how you can just pick up an instrument and that particular instrument instead, I don't know, singing, dancing,
Ooh.
doing boxing, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Ooh. Yeah. So I think I started. A lot of people always think my dad taught me guitar, but he didn't really. He was my mum's like best friend. She had an acoustic guitar, and she did lessons for like children. I would have been around 9 years old, I think. So she taught me the basics of chords and things,
Yeah.
and then I think my first song I ever learned was a John Denver "Leaving on a Jet Plane." It's not the most rock and roll of songs, but it was a
Yeah.
cool song. Could have been a worse song, but it
Yeah.
was quite interesting. Obviously, being in school and when you're like a young child, I was always, obviously because of where my dad's from, I was always listening to rock music and stuff
Yeah.
from an early age. So I didn't really know much else to listen to. Whereas my friends in school were listening to like the Spice Girls and all,
Yeah.
like pop
I
music and
remember.
things. So yeah, it was very interesting. So we'd have like school discos, and I'd turn up in like a Metallica hoodie and my like baggy jeans, and everyone else I'd be like the only person wearing that kind of thing. But yeah, over years, my dad also did teach me a few things of guitar, but he's not just because you're a very good guitarist, it doesn't mean you're the best teacher. Just
Yeah.
because I've tried to teach guitar before and I haven't got the patience for it. I
So,
don't think my dad had either.
so we can say that in your goal in the future, there is not for sure to be a guitar teacher.
No, definitely not. I tried to teach my baby cousins years ago, and I lasted one lesson, and I was like, "No, I don't think this is the industry for me to do guitar lessons." So I have a huge respect to anyone who can do it. So I went to another guitar teacher that my dad recommended, and he taught
Okay.
me for a certain amount of years. And I joined a band when I was 17 playing guitar. I was 17.
Yeah.
And that band, the Tiger Please, after a few years, ended up becoming the People the Poets. And
Yeah.
then we did a decent amount in the UK, the People the
You
Poets.
started you
So I was more
started
like an indie.
you started with that, with the people, the poet, you started.
Yeah, that was like my first
Okay.
main band. Really, we had
Yeah.
like we never toured outside of the UK, but we did. We were lucky enough to go to South by Southwest Festival in Texas twice, so that
Oh,
was a really cool experience. And we did national tours in the UK with Charlie Simpson and Def Havana. So we did some cool stuff. But then, as things, we had a few lineup changes, and then
yeah.
as of I think 2013 is when we did the family band. It was our like a
Yeah.
first. We called PHIL Campbell's All Star Band at the start.
I
So
mean,
we did it for Todd's 40th birthday party.
it's a lot of, because
So
already it's almost it's not 10 years, but kinda almost that you're.
It's close, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought about this a couple of weeks ago. Like we have our first gig was 2000. We weren't really professional then. We were just doing it for a laugh because Phil was still playing with Motorhead because he was still away most of the year. But yeah, we started doing more gigs in 2014. So
Yeah.
it was probably it is. We have been gigging together for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So time does fly. Time does fly.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, it's of course you must have because of course, let's say being with your family, sometimes touring and recording something can be funny, but sometimes there is always, like the family dispute and argument. I mean,
Yeah.
that never always happen, but it's beautiful because I think, well, even if you were with you still are with the people, the poet, and even if in your actually band with your dad, I think it's always a family. Each band we are doesn't change.
Yes.
Yeah, but of
Yeah,
course,
that's what I
yeah.
always say.
Yeah.
They all say like, "What's it like being on tour with your family?" I was like, "Well, if you're in a band,
Yeah.
the band's always like a family anyway, so it's
Yeah.
not that much different."
Except that,
Like there are arguments,
yeah,
but we sleep on it, and then the next day is a new day, really, most of the time.
yeah. But of course, is always a little. There's a little that's a different because it's when you're touring with your dad, let's say, or recording with your father, is different than maybe recording with your best friend or brother. It's always having your.
Yeah, possibly, yes. I would say so because I guess because my dad doesn't drink anymore now, so he's not. People still think he's like a big like partier and stuff. But on tour, I'll have a few beers on the bus or a few beers after the gig, but nothing crazy ever happens really. Just
of course.
drive to the next gig and then drive to the next. We're in our pajamas by midnight most nights.
I think
not exactly the most rock
because
and roll band.
we are getting older as well, with the time. There's no more Spice Girl out there, thankfully.
Exactly.
So, thankfully, I mean, I think that when you were a kid, or maybe especially a girl, can be a good, band to listen to if you are a rebellious girl. But there's been in your whole career and some guitarists or some musician that you really aspire to.
Okay. Inspirations and things.
Yeah.
I think from a very early age it would be Joe Satriani. I've always been a massive fan and admirer of him, and I've seen him quite a few times over the years, but I was lucky enough, the Marshall amps.
Yeah.
They did a 50th anniversary concert, which me and my dad were lucky to play in Wembley Arena, and Joe Satriani also played there, and he was just carrying his own guitar. He just turned up with a rucksack. He had two guitars next. He traveled on his own. He had no guitar tech. I was like, "Oh, Joe, do you need help with that?" He was like, "Sure, man." And then I can say I held Joe Satriani's guitar and helped him. He was like one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. He's so nice. And he's the only person I think I'll always, obviously my dad obviously was an inspiration as well, but besides him, Joe Satriani from an age was definitely made me want to pick up a guitar in the first place.
That's important. As well beautiful when you are able to, even exchange a few words with your own, except in this case, inspiration. It's like always a big emotion to feel. But of course, I mean, since the first EP, which was around 2016, until the last album, King of Asylum, in 2023, I mean, there was a lot of album released. So I don't want to dig too much into all of them.
Yeah.
We are gonna lose the main core and then we're gonna lose into it. But of course, many people always gonna ask and always will ask. But I don't want to focus on too much about, for example, if you're gonna carry the let's say the Motorhead, because I don't know, maybe 20,000 people already ask you that. But I want to ask you about in your, I mean, that's something that you have to deal with that, but I think it's a beautiful thing to have it, because let's admit it, they are the first band that everyone loves them. Even people
Yeah.
of music, it's like the holy grail of music, we can call it. But
Yeah.
in your personal point of view, how we can describe Phil Campbell and Buster Sun sound? So
Yeah.
taking
I
a
mean,
step back from Motorhead and all of that, focusing more on on the sound.
yeah. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's quite just straight up ballsy rock and roll. I know some people want to hear that like Motorhead sound now, and then sometimes they kind of expect our singer to sound like Lemmy, but there's only one Lemmy, and no one's ever trying to intimidate. Yeah, to try and sound like him. But it's just we have hard rock songs, we have bluesy songs. I mean, there's a couple of ballads over the course of the few albums, but yeah, it's just we're quite a high energy, just rock band really. It's not too many words. We're not like that experimental. We're like a good song is a good song if we think it's a good song. And then some songs might sound a bit like Motorhead because obviously Phil was in the band for over 30 years, so he wrote a lot of the riffs and things. But we do because the thing with this band is what I like to say is because we're all 4 years apart, me and my brothers. So my oldest one is 8 years old, and then Dane is 4 years older than me. So when we were growing up, we were all listening to like different genres of music. Like Todd was brought up on like the grunge era, and then when Dane was growing up, he was like listening. Nu metal was a thing then. So like we've all got different like styles and inspirations of music. So when we like in a room writing songs together, it's like a melting pot of just ideas and things just from all our inspiration.
That's important.
Oh yeah, a lot of people think like some songs do sound a bit like early 90s like grungy Soundgarden, right? Because Todd was like brought up in the the main era of grunge. But yeah, just come to a show, expect lots of high rock and roll. Our singer likes to swear quite a lot, so if you're not a fan of offensive language, we do apologize. But
to be honest,
it's just
to be honest, I like Welsh. I like the accent. I like the culture. I'm sorry to say, but I do not like UK. So I like.
Okay.
I'm more like for the like Welsh, Ireland, Scotland.
Yeah.
I think there's more like you can see more. I don't want to say more folklore, but the identity. You kept.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like I live in Sicily. We always say we're not Italian. We live in Sicily.
Oh, okay.
Different. So I got you. I know what you mean. So that's important. As well, like with your point of view as well, because of course, being Welsh, sometimes can traveling. People say, "Oh, which your accent?" I mean, how do you feel about it? Because as well, we don't have too many Welsh band out there, and it's a pity.
Yeah, there's quite a few Welsh bands. There's like we are a small country, so like the biggest ones would be like Bullet for My Valentine. And then they're more like it's not that many hard rock, heavy metal bands at the moment. Like I'm more of a like listen to like indie rock music, so I listen like Manic Street Preachers are like one of my favorite bands. And you got the Stereophonics who are really big out here. But yeah, when we are traveling, people like I often assume you're English, and I always got to correct them. It's like, no, that. Because I drape the Welsh flag, which is a dragon, on my bass cab.
Beautiful.
So I haven't got. Oh wait, there. Give me a second.
Take it.
I got one thing to show you.
It's beautiful. It's really cool. Because
I'm a big Welsh football fan, so we got a big game on Thursday. So that's a Welsh flag.
Wow, it's beautiful, and I think
as a badge.
It's beautiful, and I think this is
that's a Welsh language, which I actually don't know what it says. I don't speak Welsh at the moment, but they'll say, play football, something like that. But yeah, I'm quite a proud Welshman, and I'm a big Welsh football fan. So
but it's important.
I try to spread as much Welshness as I can.
Yeah, because we all knew about, because Scotland and Ireland are already, But about Welsh, there's so few things that should be known, and it's interesting because it's his own language, his own dialect, his own folklore, his own tradition, his own history too. Food,
Yeah,
everything. It's all different. And that's the beauty of it, as well, to invite people as well to explore the country, because it's a
yes.
different side, it's a different. So thank you for bringing this small side of a little bit of, let's say, cultural, because it's important. And I to be
Yeah,
honest,
definitely.
I understand better you than English, because this of I don't understand. I don't really. I'm
No,
sorry. They eat their own vowels,
no,
really.
not
Wow.
many people say that. I have British people who can't understand me most of the time. So you are doing very well to understand me. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
well, I mean, I don't have nothing against I mean, British accent, okay, it's the whatever. But sometimes there's this thing about eating the vowels, like a war, like what, war,
Yeah.
what do you say? I'm like, okay. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes for me. So I have to ask to repeat to the musician once more. But coming back to us. So, of course, the last album, like we said, it's King of the Asylum. If really we have to take one song from all the songs that you recorded, one song, one that you have really fucking fun to play in live, and one that is really dear to you.
Ooh, interesting. From that album
No, in general. I mean,
or
that's
any song?
last in general,
In general.
Yeah.
One song I really enjoy playing live. The last song of the set.
Okay.
Because you're a bit tired. You
Okay.
want to have some rest and have a beer. That's kind of a joke answer. No. But
No.
I think I really like, we always open the last couple of years, open with a song called We're the Bastards, which is the second song off our second album. And it's just a great, I think it's just a great opening track to an album or a live gig. It's kind of just an introduction of who we are and what we are about. That's a really good song to open with. And then one we haven't played it live yet, but I'm hoping we will be doing it on this upcoming tour or soon. Is the title song, "Kings of the Asylum," because I just think it's a great like mood changer because it's quite mid-paced. Because a lot of our songs when we play live are very fast-paced. We need a couple of songs to like change the set, and I think the lyrics of that song and just the musicianship of that song, "Kings of the Asylum," I think is one of the best things we've done. And it's actually, as of a couple of weeks ago, is now a wrestler's theme music.
Yeah.
So like, like there's TNA wrestling. So
Yeah.
his nickname is the King of TNA. And he's a big fan of ours. And he messaged me on Instagram if he was allowed permission to use the song.
Yes.
And he used it for the first time about 2 weeks ago. It's really cool, like a wrestler.
You went to the wrestler.
Booed as he's walking.
Yeah, I mean,
whilst he's to our own song.
It fits because it's you have to a little bit as well fun in the wrestling, in the boxing as well. It's not always just punching. Sometimes you have to entertain kind of. So music is a big part of wrestling or WWE, whatever whatsoever is always entertaining. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. And about the topic in general, let's say, because of course we spoke a little bit about the sound, but if we have like to say if there is one main topic that you talk during your own lyrics that you like to face and you like let's say lyric wise, what could
well, lyrically our singer Joel writes all the lyrics, so we the way we write the songs is basically because Joel lives about an hour away from us, like maybe 90 minutes away from us, so me, my two brothers and my dad, we will be in a room, we'll start writing songs and riffs, and then we'll record a rough demo. Okay. And then we send it to our singer Joel.
Yeah.
And then he will like write, because he's got like a home studio in his house as well. And then he'll come up with ideas. He'll write the lyrics himself. And some things, I don't know what he's talking about half the time, but some of the lyrics are really cool. Like the wordplay in the song "Kings of the Asylum." If you read that, it's a lot of like politics about.
Yeah.
There's a lot quite political, and I think that once we wrote that song, we realized we could do like a rough theme on the album about like just betrayal, politicians.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to talk about it too much. It's not like a concept album or anything, but
No, but
because we always like to tie in a rough idea of an album with the artwork as well.
yeah.
So we thought the artwork for this album was really cool. With like the asylum's been taken over by the inmates, and there's like set on fire and stuff. So.
But you're
I've tried written lyrics to one song in my life and it was terrible, so I haven't bothered trying ever again.
okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna say to compose a riff, just writing instead of writing lyrics, writing music, writing notes, melodies, let's say.
Yes.
But you're kind of planning already, thinking about another album, like starting to working on new music, maybe that we can see even on 2024, on 2025.
Yes, we've started rehearsing the last couple of, I think we've got about 6 rough ideas for songs, or maybe 7 or 8.
That's cool.
Again, like what I said, we've been meeting up like once a week and putting rough ideas. Okay. I think our touring schedule is so hectic I thought we were going to have a quiet year a couple of weeks ago, and then a few things have been getting emailed, and I go, I think it's going to be busy. So it probably not till next year, I don't think.
But let's say that
maybe maybe a single towards the end of the year. Okay. I'd like to do a single, and then maybe an album next year.
We can expect, at least for 2025, some new music released from PHIL CAMPBELL. But speaking about this tour, that is going to start at the end of the month, and it's going to hit Germany at the beginning. Like it's going to start from there. So because it's going to be start in Hamburg, speaking about the German tour, in the 3rd of March. So you're going to start from there, or first you're going to start from, Germany is the first country you're starting the tour?
It's the Netherlands, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, we start in the Netherlands. The second show is Hamburg. So we all have on a Saturday night. So we all have a great show in Hamburg.
Okay.
And then we're doing a lot of German places in Germany we wouldn't normally play. There's a lot of like smaller towns and stuff. So we're looking forward to seeing some new places.
I was looking like that because I have there's like Fribourg as well. I don't know German too much. Like I try to pronounce it right. Augsburg. I mean, there's few until maybe the 10th of April.
Yes. Then we've also got a show opening for Saxon and Judas Priest in Milan. So we're very much looking forward to that one.
When is it?
So
when
is it? April.
I'm like this.
Oh, you want to go?
Yeah, of course. I mean, because I am in April. I am in April in Milan. So I'm in April in Milan.
Oh, okay. I gotta get the dates out now. It's early April.
Okay.
It is. April the 6th, Saturday.
Okay. The 6th. So for Italian fans, it's the 6th of April. And I'm going to try to, because it's super. So basically, you do a show in Milan and then you come back in Germany then.
Yes. Basically the entire tour is booked. We got the offer to do the Milan show with Judas Priest. And we're like, well, it doesn't really work as a one show. So we basically booked an entire tour to make it work. So we're also doing Belgium. We're doing a show in Austria. Our first ever headline show in Austria, actually. So it should be a fun, busy 2 weeks.
And and of course, like there's of course I think you already have ready the set list. We can expect something from the new album, the older album. What is like, of course, we don't want to spoil all the set list, but which song we can expect? How we can expect this set list in an adjective?
We will probably, no spoilers. We will probably start with "We're the Bastards" because, as mentioned, this is just a great opener.
Yeah.
And we haven't written the set list yet. That's probably a job for next week. We rehearsed last week. There'll be a couple of Motorhead songs in there. There's always 2 or 3 Motorhead songs, and then we usually throw like a cheeky cover in, which Phil really likes playing. And then quite also be promoting the new album Kings of the Asylum, so there'll be like 4 or 5 songs off that album. And then yeah, it'll just be a really fun-filled 80 minutes of rock music, and everyone will have a good time. Lots of singing,
Yeah,
lots of clapping, and lots of drinking.
yeah, of course. At least,
Our fans are usually big drinkers.
I mean, we have to say much more. I mean, and like I said, it's not like carrying, like I say, the torch, the legacy of Motorhead, but it's a rock and roll. That's the basic. It's rock and roll. That's the base of everything. The base of everything. Of course, many of your fans are Motorhead fan and Bastard Son. Even I think, fan from they made me start to listen to PHIL Campbell and the Bastard Son. They might maybe found out Motorhead, the younger generation after.
Yeah.
So it's
that's generally true. Like we've been lucky enough to open for other bands, like decent but big acts, and they'll discover us, and then they like our music, and then like one of our regular fans from the UK, like isn't a big Motorhead fan whatsoever. He just likes our original music. Like never listened to Motorhead before, but I think he discovered us when we supported Slash in the UK, I think.
Yes.
So we have quite a few fans who aren't Motorhead fans, but they're fans of our music. But obviously, a lot of Motorhead fans do like us as well. So
that's beautiful as
well. It works both ways.
Yeah, but it's as well as I think what your dad did, continuing playing music and involving you, it was amazing. Because of course, it couldn't be easy and say, oh, he's going away, after Motorhead, he's keep on playing music. Could it be even like a little bit people like, oh, he's gonna maybe trying to copy, keeping music without Lemmy, but your dad was really fucking brave to go forward, because of course he's been there since a lot of years, so he knew what it did, and involving the family, it's amazing. So that's another project. It's not just Motorhead Part 2, it's just Phil Campbell with his family, the Bastard Son. So let's say it's the Bastard Son. That's music, because I found that sometimes you can find the vibe, let's say, but the music, it's yours.
Yeah.
That Lemmy was Lemmy music and your father music. That's two different chapters. These are the different chapters.
Yes.
And of course, you play homage to Motorhead. It's always amazing. But this is your music, and so let's say, for the people in Germany, you're going to start on the 30th, then you're going to have a small comeback here in Italy and here and there, and then you come back in Germany again, which is the last, it's Osnabrück. I don't know, people from Germany will know. It's So, Tyla, it was really a pleasure meeting you, and thanks for this really fun interview, talking a little bit here and there, like a chit-chatting interview. We don't like question and answer all the time. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring sometimes. I think you're used, to question and answer. You don't like it.
I got you. No, I've had a great time. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you very much, and good luck for the tour, and hopefully see you in Milan, and it's going to be a massive gig. Maybe if it's a smaller gig in some other country, it's easier.
Yeah.
We're gonna catch up again. Let's have a beer, and congratulations. Looking forward to your new music and greetings to all the family, to all the Bastard Son and your father. It's what it really is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Cheers. Bye now. Bye.